Hi, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Married Clinic Live. How are you today? I remain your host, Moralai and Oputi. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm super excited for this program called Married Clinic. We are obviously touching lives. We are obviously impacting minds, changing mindsets, and transforming families. I know that for sure. And I want to quickly say a big welcome to all our new joiners. I mean, thousands and thousands of people have been joining us. We've moved from it was 7,000 or about 9,000 early this year. We are already approaching 20,000 members. Thank you so much to everyone who have shown interest in joining Marie Clinic, and that is the reason why I want us to be focused on the goal, which is to provide insightful information for couples, for people in marriage and relationships. So please, let's not do things that would distract us from our main purpose. So thank you so much for joining us today. Today we have a guest in the house. We will make it short and snappy, because we are trying to keep to time. So we have a special guest in the house today. One thing I like about her is her deep, deep insight on marriage and the root causes of all these marital challenges that we see today in people's marriages and in society. She is the CEO of Berry's Bridal Gallery. Very intelligent woman, very spiritual, but it's not written over her face. But when she speaks, you will know that she knows what she's saying. So it's my pleasure today to introduce to us Ebere Ifeka. Ooh, ooh. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Ebere, for joining
Thank
us
you.
today.
Thank you. Good evening,
Married,
everyone.
yeah,
Good
good
evening.
evening. You're welcome to Married Clinic. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah, okay. So let's start how by looking at the root causes of marital issues or marital challenges. What do you think is the root cause of all these marital challenges we see today, especially in our time and in our society? It wasn't this bad, in the olden days. So what do you think is the root causes of this?
Well, for me, being a spiritual person, I'm an highly spiritual person, and I like to take everything from the foundation. And that's why the Bible says that if the foundation be destroyed, what can the righteous do? So when you don't
Mm,
get it from the foundation, there's every likelihood that the house will collapse. That is, the
yeah,
marriage will collapse when you don't
yeah.
get it right from the foundation. So these days,
Mm-hmm.
people marry for the wrong reasons. Okay,
Mm,
and then another thing is they do not seek the face of God before they choose their spouse. All right, they just act out of they just act in the flesh. Maybe like oh, I like this woman, I like this man, I want to settle down with him or with her. But it goes beyond that. Marriage is spiritual. It's more spiritual than physical. And that is what I want people of our generation to understand. And the
mm.
generation that are coming after us. I want them to understand that marriage is more spiritual than physical. All right. All right. So before you will settle down with any man, if you know you don't want to go through separation, divorce, or have troubled marriage,
Mm,
all right, you must first seek the face of God before you marry any man.
true.
Many at times people are too busy. They don't even know how to hear from God. But when you get to that aspect of your life, you need to be very sensitive spiritually. Okay, make sure you hear from God before you settle down with anyone. And God is faithful. He wouldn't hide himself away from us. When you're trusting God for a life partner, when you're seeking the face of God, He will communicate an information to you through your dream, through your vision. It will say something to you that will make you know that this is who God wants me to settle down with. All right. So you do spiritual
Okay.
investigation. That is what I call it.
Spiritual
All right.
investigation.
Spiritual
Very good. So
investigation.
aside from that spiritual aspect of it, what other things do you think causes is the root cause of all these marital challenges that we see today in our society?
A root cause. I'm still going to talk on the spiritual aspect. We'll still come to other
Yeah,
aspects.
I don't
All
want
right.
us to
Another
dwell
thing
too
is,
much on that because of time. I wouldn't want
all
us to
right.
dwell too much on that because of time, because we all know
Yeah.
that we
Bible,
ought to hear from God. We ought to seek the face of God.
yeah.
After seeking the face of God, and even if God shows you in your dream that this is your wife, this is your husband, God will not come down to run our homes for us. The responsibility still lies on the people or the individuals in the marriage to run their marriage the way God would want them to run it. So what could now lead to the what could be the causes of all these marital challenges that we are seeing today from the human perspective? Fine, we believe in God, we know that the God factor first, but there's this Yoruba adage that says at times ọwọ́ wa la fi ń fa àkóbá fún ara wa or something like
Yeah,
that. So,
yeah, you're saying the right thing though. But if we have to really educate the coming generation or people of our generation, we need to
yes,
really understand the basic, which is, the Bible in Genesis 20, in Genesis 2:24 says, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and mother and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh." Before you will cleave
exactly.
to that man, God expects us to cleave to him. There's an aspect where you need to cleave to God first. When you
Good.
cleave to God first, that you can find in the book of Deuteronomy 4, where he said, but he that did cleave unto the Lord your God alive, every one of you this day. So you need to cleave to God first.
Mm-hmm.
So when you cleave to God first, that is having a strong relationship with God. Then God will now show you who you will eventually cleave unto as your earthly husband. So
Okay.
having said that, that is the spiritual aspect of that. You need to cleave to God first. Then God will help you to choose the man you will eventually cleave onto. All right.
Or the
Then the
woman.
human factor is when you make wrong choice in marriage, marrying the wrong
Mm.
person first.
Mm.
That's one instance. All right. Then we have uncontentment. All right. When you're not
Mm-hmm.
contented with what you have, you want
Yeah.
more. All right. You want to test every man, or you want to test every woman. You want more. Uncontentment is another factor. Then home
Okay.
instability. When you eventually marry that man you're not compatible with. You see, when you marry a man wrongly or a woman wrongly, you can never be compatible. You will have separate ideologies on every issue. And the more you have different ideologies concerning different issues of life, you'll be having challenges. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
will be having challenges because you are not agreeing. You don't have the same ideology. So when you have
Mm.
different ideology, you will have trouble in the home. All right.
Mm.
Then, and that will cause home instability. Your home will not be stable, okay, because you're not operating on the same platform. You get me? All right. What
Mm.
interests you does not interest the man, and what interests the woman does not interest the man. At the end of the day, you will
Exactly.
have lack of communication. All right.
Mm.
And then another factor is when you don't really love the person. Okay. Because one thing about love is respectful, love is submissive. Okay.
True.
So when you love a person, you will automatically respect that person. You don't have to force it. You see
True.
the role of love. All right.
Yeah.
So, and then in the on the part of the woman too, when you love your husband, you will submit to him. Okay. And then
Exactly.
for the man too, when you love your wife, you will respect her. And when you respect a person, cheating on them becomes difficult.
True. That's
So
true.
when you love them, when you respect them, when you submit, cheating on them becomes difficult. So that's why we need to get it right with God first. I still refer to God. I still
Okay.
want people to refer to God, cleaving to God first, and
Of course.
eventually God will give you that man or that woman that he has designed for you.
True. That's very, very important. And in addition to cleaving to God, we should also learn to play by His rules. We should learn to play by His rules because That is what will guide our actions and our behaviors, in the marriage. So there is also another issue, the issue of infidelity, cheating in marriage. I mean, this issue is becoming alarming. The rate at which some men, some women cheat on their spouses these days is so easy. It's like they do it cheaply, and you will keep wondering what is happening. You guys are married. You should be keeping yourself for your spouse. I mean, you should do sex within the confines of marriage. So why all this going up and down, sleeping around to the point of even contacting sexually transmitted diseases? So what do you think could be the causes of infidelity or spouses cheating on each other sexually?
Yeah, like we've said, we've mentioned uncontentment, we've mentioned when the husband and wife does not have good communication, there's no breakdown of communication, home
Mm,
instability, we've mentioned that maybe there's trouble at home. They tend to look for another partner outside their marriage to keep themselves going and to make themselves happy. Another thing that causes it is depression. You know, when there's a breakdown, when the man or the woman had gone separate ways, they live together, they are husband and wife, they stay together, but there's breakdown of communication that tends to cause depression. And then people, in their bid to create to be happy, they tend to like have want to have partners outside their marriage. All right.
mm,
And another aspect again in our society is monetary. All right. Situation
true.
whereby the husband cannot fund the woman's business, okay, and then she needs money, to belong. She needs money to take care of her children. She needs money to pay some bills, and the husband is not forthcoming. You
True.
find situations like that can make a woman want to have an extramarital affair. And then you will also see a woman who has who has a who sorry, excuse me. You will also see a woman who has a rich husband, who got married to a rich husband. Are you getting me?
Mm-hmm.
But still wants to go and have an affair outside. Then that kind of woman does not lack money. She has money. The husband
Yeah.
has money. Are you getting me? Money
Yeah.
is not a problem. But she married
Exactly.
wrongly. Maybe she married
Mm,
the man because of money. And there's an
mm,
aspect of the man that she's not contented with.
with.
Maybe sexually, the man cannot fulfill her needs. I
Mm,
don't know if you understand me. So she
yeah.
tends to help herself by having another partner. So different
Mm.
factors usually lead to infidelity and extramarital affair, especially here in Nigeria.
Okay, but is it true that naturally men are cheats or men are polygamous? There's that saying, even though I don't tend to believe it or follow it, they'll
I
say,
still
oh,
I still
naturally.
believe that when you marry a man you love or a man that loves you, cheating becomes a thing of it becomes very difficult. You see,
Exactly.
love comes with
Liking it
respect
up.
and submission naturally.
True.
When you love me, you want to respect me, isn't it? But if you
That's
don't
true.
love me, you want to disrespect me. And that's why you want to sleep with my neighbor or my friend or my sister or my cousin
Or,
because you
or
don't love
neighbors.
me. I don't know if you
Exactly.
understand me. So the
That's
key
true.
word there is love. All right. So if you
Mm.
don't love, you won't respect and you won't submit. So that's how it goes. It's
Okay, so
simple.
how about denials, like denying your spouse or partner sex? Because I hear a lot of that, saying, "Oh,
But
madam,
that
if you don't, I'm
for
tired,
women.
I have children to take care of." So that's why I deny him.
Well, for the sexual denial, sometimes as woman, you would get tired, maybe from exhaustion, work
True.
and all that, work, house chores, and maybe working from running of your business and other things like that to get you tired.
True.
And then, but what I tell women is, don't be too tired for your husband. How will I explain that now? As in,
Yeah,
don't get too tired. Because when
correct.
you were marrying him, one of your duties is to satisfy him sexually. All right. So if he's not giving you what you want, women don't tend to be active when they don't have, women tend not to be active when they don't have money.
Hmm.
I don't know if you understand me. So when they
Okay.
want something from their husband and the man is not forthcoming,
Give
The whole
out, give
system
out
would dry.
money.
The whole system would dry up. So there's no excitement. There's nothing exciting her in the marriage. I need
I
money, you
know.
can't give me. I want a car, you can't buy. I want a house, you just can't buy. I want a new. I want to restock my shop. You can't afford me with some money
True.
and all that. So women tend to like withdraw from sex when it comes to situations relating to money many a times. You know,
Okay.
yeah, money. It still boils down to money. Yeah. So, but situation
Okay.
whereby you give her what she wants. She wants to like, okay, come and have me as many times as you want. But I tell women, regardless of the situation, don't deny your husband. Denying him sex will make him look elsewhere. All right. And there's still some men, no matter, excuse me, there's still some men, no matter how many times you give them sex, they still want to go and have sex outside.
Exactly. So
No
why
matter,
are they like that?
it still boils down to our first point, uncontentment. They are not contented with what they have.
Alone. Yeah.
I need a lorry.
Then.
Yeah,
Okay, so that takes me to another point which you made, that when women don't have money, they tend not to be active. But the
yeah.
question is, should a woman's should a woman depend on a man, for our entire livelihood or survival? I mean, like you now, you are a woman, you are CEO of Berry's Bridal Gallery. I mean, I can see what you are doing. I am also a woman. I know the many caps that I wear and the things that I do to hen. So I'm just thinking aloud, why can't women also do something, get themselves busy, and earn a livelihood, earn an income, so that you don't depend entirely on a man. If you need an iPhone, you can afford to buy it from your own earnings. If you need this, you can afford to buy it, rather than allowing another man determine your mood. Like you said, when they don't have money, they tend not to be active. So why not take charge of your finances or your financial capacity or capability by doing something, rather than keep depending solely on a man to fund, your entire lifestyle.
Yeah, it's not even in today's Nigeria, a woman can afford not to work because the financial responsibility will be too cumbersome for the
For
man.
the
And men these days like productive women. All right. So I advise women, whatever your hand can do it well. Whatever you find your hand, whatever you can lay your hand on,
ones
just do
on.
it and get busy and earn something, no matter how small, so that
Yeah.
your financial need will not overwhelm your husband. All right. So I advise women to get something doing, be it
Doing.
business, be it career, just get something doing so that you can
Yeah.
earn some form of income. All right, so it's good for a woman to have something doing
Okay,
for
so
her.
some other women would say, well, I really want to work, but there is no capital. I don't have money to start, or my husband will not support me. What advice do we have for such people?
And that's why there's, how will I put it? For those of them who don't have access to fund, that's difficult because no matter how, whatever you want to do now, all right, every business has, every business needs money, needs funding,
Hmm.
all right. All right. So,
Yeah.
like I tell people, identify people who can help you rather than sleeping around, rather than, messing yourself around, especially a
Hmm.
married woman. You will still have people you can beg for, maybe beg few amounts of money, identify those that can be of help to you. Gather
Hmm.
what you can and then get started with something. You don't
And
necessarily have to start, yeah, you don't
big.
necessarily have to start big,
You
but
can start
small.
small.
You can
And
start small.
I remember in those days, our mothers, they don't mind selling off their jewelries, their gele, their gold, and some other things, just for them to get, some money,
Money.
to start whatever they want to start. If you believe in that business or in that vision, you could also do that. And before you know it, by the time the business blows up, that business will buy back all those things that was sold, to raise the capital. So let's
Yeah.
move on to, okay, you
Okay.
want to
Let
say
me, let
something?
me quickly add to that. And that's why I advise women before you get married, try and get
Mm,
something doing. All
true,
right. Don't expect that if you get to the marriage, if you enter into the marriage, the man will fund your business or give you money to start business. Do not assume. Get
true.
something going for you as a single person. Okay. Don't just enter into a marriage when you don't have some form of financial security.
Hmm,
All right.
that's
So
true.
going to marriage, yeah, you don't have to be all rich, but at least have something that brings in income before you marry any man. The man might
True.
lose his job. We're not praying for that though. Anything can
Very,
happen.
anything
Yeah,
can happen.
so when you're single, try and create something.
Hmm,
Try and get busy, work or start a small business. So by the time you're getting into marriage, whatever you're expecting, if the man is not forthcoming
yeah,
financially, you can use your business to help yourself.
that's true. To help
Yeah. So
ourselves
before
and
marriage,
achieve.
you get something doing.
True, true. So this one says, how should a wife handle a man that doesn't want to work? So I get a lot of cases that says, oh, my husband, is not working. He was doing business, but he stopped doing business. He does not want to work. I've funded or started three different businesses for him, but the business end up packing up. Yet I bear all the responsibilities alone as a woman. Every attempt to make the man work, he does not want to work, yet he wants to live, eat, do necessary thing, and will even be telling the wife, remove the family planning on you, we want more children, and his own mother too will be telling that same wife, we want more grandchildren, and they know that their son cannot fund, the expenses of having more children. So what do you say to that?
Well, it's okay to help one's husband, but when you have to do it all the time, it's not wise. All right,
Mm-hmm.
because you have children to take care of. All right, and like I tell people these days, marriage is deep and there's no sentiment.
True,
It's not nice to go into marriage. It's not nice to go into marriage out of sentiment.
true.
Be sure you know what you're doing. The man too
That's
should be mature to run a home. All
true.
right. A man that can't take care of himself as a single man can't take care of himself in marriage and won't
True.
even take care of the wife and children. So many a
True.
times women see all of these indices before they go into it. All
Mm.
right. So going forward, I would advise women, if a man is not productive, please think very well before you go into that marriage
Yeah.
because you will end up having a lot of troubles.
Mm.
Right? So it's okay to help your husband. At some point,
Mm.
people have troubles, people have challenges, and they need a helping hand. If
True.
he's a productive man, why not invest in him and help him? If he has
Yeah.
something driving, if he has a vision that drives him, help him to achieve it. Okay,
True.
but for someone who don't have anything that drives him, why waste your money?
That's true.
I'm a
That's
realistic person.
I know. I know. I know. Okay.
Something
Okay.
must drive
That's
him. So if nothing is driving him, why settle for him?
mm-hmm.
Why let it?
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true. Okay, so another thing I want us to look at is the role of parents in ensuring that their children get it right maritally. The role of parents in ensuring that our children, get it right maritally, because I mean, from everything we see today, we can tell that it is the way the parents raised up children in those days. That's the outcome, or that's what we are seeing today. So what advice do you have for today's mothers on how to ensure that their own children get it right, and we don't keep repeating this same cycle, of
Marital
these
unfulfillment.
marital issues and disaster marriages, so to speak?
Well, for me, parents need to get involved. You're not a fulfilled parent. You're not a successful parent if your child does not have a successful marriage. Training your child is not enough, but ensuring that they have good marriage. And how can you help them have good marriage? First,
Mm,
the spiritual aspect of it. Don't stop praying for them. even before they
True.
introduce the man to you or the woman. Because if
Mm,
you don't want trouble in your old age,
mm,
ensure you pray for your children. Because
mm.
training them is not enough. Many a times parents will think, oh, I've trained you through school, you are now a graduate and that is it, go and get married. No. Because once they encounter trouble in their marriage, they'll bring it back to you. And at the
True.
time when you're supposed to be resting as an old man or an old woman, when you're supposed to be eating the fruit of your labor, that's when they are bringing it for you. So if you want to rest in your old age, I tell people now, and I tell elderly people,
Mm,
if you want to rest in your old age, ensure
mm.
you invest in your children's marriage first spiritually. Pray for them. Do
True.
spiritual investigation.
Mm.
This man that they are bringing, what is God saying about them?
About
All right.
them.
Seek the
Who are
face of
they?
God. Yeah, don't leave the child alone. Many a
Mm,
times our generation of people, generations that we are older than, they are so stubborn that they don't even want their parents to get involved. And that is not enough. As a parent, you need to assert your rights and let them know that you are involved. It is not
mm,
enough to love a man. What does he do? Where is he from? What is his religion? What do they believe in? What do they serve? What do they do? What does it, ask questions. So
that's
aside
true.
from
That's true.
spiritual investigation, praying for them and
Mm,
inquiring or seeking the face of God concerning who your child will marry, do extra finding. Like in the
yeah.
days of our parents, they will have to go to that neighborhood or to that family or people that knows that family and ask questions.
Yeah.
The daughter wants to marry this man. What is this family? What are they? What do they represent? So they will ask people around. But in today's world, nothing of such. They don't do
Mm,
that kind of investigation again.
mm,
People will just find themselves on Facebook or anywhere, and before you know it, they are married. And then
mm,
before you know it, they are out of marriage again. So
mm,
parents should go back to the way it was in those days, where they
mm,
would do spiritual and physical investigation concerning who their child wants to get married to. So it is important that parents get involved in their children's marriage. And then training is important too. Train your
very true.
child. As
That's
your
true.
like in this part of the world, we tend to train the women more. We prepare the women more for marriage. We don't prepare the men. We need to
Men.
teach the boys how to respect women. You know,
True.
whatever a
Very
child
true.
learns is what they would grow up with. So
Mm,
many a times, if the woman is from a well cultured home or maybe she's
yeah.
well trained, what if the
Yeah.
man is not well trained? There will always still
True.
be trouble. You
That's
find
true.
some men can't wash their clothes.
They are
You see,
looking
some
for
men
what
can't
the
wash their
woman.
own. They can't do all of those things. They can't even cook. Maybe when the woman had traveled for business stuff or what have you. All right. So while we're training the women, teaching the women how to cook, we should also teach the men how to do the same thing too.
True.
All right. So we train our
That's true.
children, and then like I said, that parents should go back to the way it was in the olden days.
Mm.
Do a lot of native investigation. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying by that.
Yeah.
Native
Yeah.
investigation in the sense that you go and ask people that knows that family. Go, if you have to travel to their village, is enough to do that. Ask questions
That's true. With
concerning.
what we experience these days, we need to do that.
Yes, that was how it was in those days. Before you marry anybody, they will go and ask people around, people that knows that family. And if it's a
Mm.
bad family, they will tell you, they serve one idol in that family. You don't let
Yeah.
your child go
Mm.
into that kind of a
Exactly.
state. You will
True.
see people that will say one or two things, or they are lazy people. They have a lazy traits in their family. You would
True.
see somebody
Yeah,
that will tell
men
you
don't work.
something
That's
about
true.
them. Yeah.
It's
So
true.
laziness can be hereditary too.
It's true. It's true. It's
you
true.
know, so, and
Mm.
then what else again? Just do spiritual and deep physical investigation before your child gets
Okay.
married to whoever it is that they have
Okay.
brought to you as their spouse. So it's very
Exactly.
important, because if a child has marital trouble, it brings shame to the parents and
That's true.
unrest. So if you don't want shame and unrest in your old age,
Yes.
then ensure you get involved in your
Yeah.
child's marriage,
That's
physically and spiritually, before the
true.
marriage, not even in the marriage. So you don't go to their
That's
homes
true.
and disrupt their marriage.
Exactly.
Parents should get more involved before the marriage, so you will have less trouble when they are in the marriage.
Mm.
Oh, you
Okay.
understand me? All
Yeah.
right. So
So
then,
I
like I
think we
said, they
should.
should also do inquiry. I've said that.
Yeah, I
It's
think we
very
have said
important
that
before
in many
marriage.
ways.
Yes, I've
Yeah.
said that.
So I want us to look at this last one, which is of late, different research has been showing that the rate, of separation and divorce is on the increase. That more people are divorcing compared to in those days, and everyone is wondering, okay, why? What is causing this? Is it that the women no longer have enough long suffering anymore, like in the days of our mothers, that they would be beaten, they would, they would suffer, they will even marry 5 women on top of them, yet they will be cool in their husband's house, they don't have any issue with it. That what could be responsible for today's high rate of separation and divorce? Because today, even your husband, looking at another chick or cheating, on you for a few months, people have packed their bags to say, oh, I'm not doing again. Or any little assault, they've packed their bags and say, oh, we are not doing again. So what do you want to say to that? Is it right? Well, I mean, in like 3 minutes.
All right. Then what I would say is intolerance. People have a lot of people are not people don't exercise patience again like before. They don't have it. They don't have penchant for, you know, how will I put it now? They don't have that tolerance spirit
Yeah.
again. All right. So
Mm.
they cannot tolerate rubbish. Like I would let me use that word. All right. So
Or
if
that spirit of
then
long suffering.
yes, then if when you're getting married to a man, you have expectation.
True.
So when you
That's
now get there and what you're expecting is not what you're
mm,
expecting is not what you're seeing. So
what
they
you are
wait for
seeing is
slightest
different from your
provocation.
expectation. True.
Any slightest provocation, you will see them move out of the marriage. They just hide under the guise of that present trouble. But the
Mm,
fact is that deep down, there are some things they expected that they didn't see. All right. So
mm,
that's why I tell people don't marry for the wrong reasons.
true.
All right. And then
Very
in
true.
most cases, like when you don't involve God in your marriage, before your marriage, God said won't be involved during the marriage. All
True.
right. The Bible says, he that finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor
Mm,
from God. But how can you obtain favor from God when you didn't even involve God in the first place?
true.
All right. So it still boils
Yeah.
down to the foundation.
Mm,
All right. So get it right with God. Cleave to God first, and God will help you find your partner. And when
mm,
God gives you a man or a woman, being that the person is from God Almighty, it is who God had approved for you. There's something about who God has approved for you. You will have a lot of patience.
mm,
You'll be willing to share whatever you have. You won't be
true.
secretive. You will be so open. You will be
That's
loving. I don't know if you
true.
understand.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
and then you have a lot of respect for that person. And because
That's
you love that person, you will submit. Men love respect. Men love
mm,
submission. I don't know if you
true.
understand. And women love
Yeah.
to be loved and
Love
appreciated too.
and
All right.
cared
So
for.
when you get it right with God, when
Mm,
you get it right with God would give you your own man, your own woman. And when that person come your way, loving that person won't be difficult because
mm,
you are not even, how will I put, the person has been given to you by God. So
yeah.
loving the person and submitting will just come naturally. It will come
Mm,
naturally. You don't have to force it. And
mm,
forgiving too will become a thing of like an habit. Okay, your husband will offend you, and you'll be like, you will overlook, and then the wife too will offend the husband. You will overlook. They will tolerate one another. You
yeah.
understand me? They will tolerate. And there's something about God again. God is the greatest matchmaker. When
True.
God sees, when God formed you, He knows who you are, and then He knows the man that will fit into your purpose. All
That's
right. So
true.
when God gives you a man or a woman as your wife or husband, the
Mm,
person will automatically share same ideology with you.
with
Don't
you.
forget, when we started this program, I told you something about ideology. When you have
Mm,
separate ideology, you will always have troubles in the home because you are not agreeing to a thing. You will always be having disagreements. So one thing
that
God looked at is that man that will fit into your purpose, that man
mm,
that will fit into your calling. So when that
yeah.
man comes, you will share a lot of, you will have similarity in ideologies concerning all issues of life. At least if not 100%, at least 90%, you will share
That's true.
same ideology. So
Mhm.
when you seek the face of God, when you seek the face of God before marriage, God Himself will give you that man that fits into your purpose, and you will have
Mm.
less trouble in marriage.
Thank you very much. It's you've said so much in this short period of time. I think we've done over a bit over 30 minutes now, and it's been very insightful, very educative. So what we will do is we will continue this another time as a series. We will try and look at some other topics like the issue of in-laws,
Oh yeah,
the issue of submission. You mentioned submission, respect.
yeah.
See, when it comes to submission, some women, they don't want to hear that word at all. Please don't
Because you
talk
don't love the man. I said that if you don't love a man or a woman, submitting becomes very difficult.
an issue. Yeah.
Men
So
too submit. Do you know men too submit?
yes, I know. I mean,
They
it's
submit. They
when
might
they
not own up
respect
to it that
you,
they submit, but they do it. So when they love you and you be like,
they
and you
respect
tell
you.
them a thing, they'll be like, okay, I'm not going
Let's
to
go
do it again since you
your
don't
route.
like it. I don't know if you
Exactly.
understand. So
I
men too
know. I know.
submit.
I
But
know.
submission comes from love. So who you love, you will respect. Don't forget this. Who you love, you will respect and submit
Too.
automatically. You don't have
That's
to
true.
you won't even have to force it. It will come
That's true.
upon you naturally because you love that
That's true.
person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you
Thank
don't love,
you.
it's very easy to disrespect the person, and
That's
you
true.
want to do anything to spite on that person.
I know. Thank you so much, Iberi. You've done
Thank
justice
you,
to all the
Malaya.
questions of today. I mean, I even may have learned something today. Thank you. Thank you for coming. And
Thank you for having me.
yeah, I hope we will do more of this together. I mean, just to educate, enlighten, others and make them know that, hey, this is the best way to go about things. This is the best way to do things. And I pray
Absolutely.
that God will continue to help us to educate minds, to educate
Amen.
minds and impact
Amen.
lives. Thank you so much
Amen.
for coming. Like I said,
And keep more people
Ebere
into marriage.
Ifeka, yes, Ebere Ifeka is the CEO of Berry's Bridal Gallery. I mean, hardworking. Spiritually, she's also loaded. So
Thank
we'll
you
have
so
more
much,
of her
Malaya.
subsequently. Yeah, thanks so much for coming. See you again another time.
Thank you, my darling. Bye.
Bye. So we have come to the end of today's program. Thank you so much for joining us today. Please, if you find this video interesting, do share it with others. Give us a like, give us a comment. Do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Please, it's very important as we have over 165 videos on it that can help to educate you on the issue of marriage and relationship. Please take out some time to watch those videos. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Hope to see you another time. I remain your host, Morlai, and hope to till we meet again. I say bye bye.